Well, hello everyone, my name is Michael SK, and welcome back to Umineko When They Cry. I actually don't remember where we left off, but I can tell that we're still kind of, I guess, in the future, kind of, which is maybe the present, and the story of the murders is the past. I don't know anymore. Things are getting a little confusing with the timeline, as I've brought up earlier, but it seems like we are trying, or at least Ange is trying, to summon the sisters. That is the idea here, I think. For better or for worse. We are trying to summon the sisters here. I wonder where they swiped it from. They were fighting over a donut or something, playing around really loudly.
Ange 様は読書をなさってるのよ。少しは静かにできないの？そう言ってるサタンが一番うるさいのよ。沈黙なさい。
I will say though, seeing the sisters, out here in just regular broad daylight is interesting.
この愚昧が。ルシファーお姉様の方がうるさいです。文句が終わり?
I was already used to the oldest and the third oldest sister arguing with each other. Even though they're both so quick to anger, it's a bit funny how they're both having to hold back a little. And they might be surprisingly like each other.
賑やかにしていろとの仰せでしたが、これではさすがに。少しボリュームを下げさせますか？
気にしないで騒いでてくれていいわ。教室の黄色い笑い声より100倍心地よいもの。
エンジ様、早く次のページ。エンジ様は読むのが遅い。
マモンは読書が好きなの？地味なことが一番苦手そうに見えるのにね。
マモンが司るのは強欲、知識欲にもそれは通じます。ただし、独占したがるので、本を与えると人に読ませまいと、読書後に焼いてしまうこともあるのでご注意を。
Alright.
私は誰も知らないことを私だけが知っているのが好き。誰もできないことを私だけができるのが好き。だから勉強は好き。私だけが誰も知らない英知を独り占めしたいから。
As Mamoon said that, her eyes sparkling, she peered down at the page that was open and read through it again. You could see the greed that made her convey that page even more thoroughly than I did. Wait, did that say convey or cover? Yeah, okay, I was gonna say, damn, my eyesight must be terrible today. As you can see, my magical power has grown much stronger than it was on the first day I summoned them. By now, I've gotten so that I can summon all the 7 Sisters of Purgatory at once, and still calmly read a book like this. That is an improvement. This place, although I can't recall exactly where it is a quiet and calm street-side bench. I had been young back then. Excuse me, so I don't remember the details of its location. Still, I remember that my days walking here were a lot of fun. Together with Dad, Mom, and even Oni-chan. It was a memory of a very rare and very happy day when everyone had been together. The people who walked by every once in a while didn't notice me. They just pleasantly ignored me and passed by as though everything was normal. Even the 7 sisters' incredible outfits weren't embarrassing or anything, because it wasn't like anyone was actually watching. Come to think of it, I'm getting pretty used to it, as long as they don't make me wear those. Yeah, no, they do wear some pretty interesting outfits, and we'll keep it at that. I have no other opinion, definitely. I was sitting on a stylish bench memorizing a timeline for world history. In an academy system where everything is based on collective responsibility, there is no tolerance for dunces. It seemed that I was considerably below the average grade for the class. According to those extremely intellectual girls, if I alone improved my grade, the average would rise drastically. They had been kind enough to show me with a graph drawn by colorful pens on a B4 sheet of drawing paper. Just thinking of the effort it had taken to draw that was repulsive. Yeah, they really went a long way there. I was going to mention, that is a whole new level of bullying. But I've already spat out all those complaints. I've already voiced my constant and furious anger and sadness to these girls here. The sisters were sometimes indignant, sometimes sympathetic, and sometimes mourned along with me. I was truly happy to be able to share emotions like that with friends. It's said that they were originally furniture that existed to carry out Beatrice's cruel sacrifice ceremony. According to the occult messages bottle I hated, it seems that several of them even attacked my family. But I don't believe that, and it's pointless to question them about it. They are furniture, and they only respond to their master's requests. Even if they really did attack my family, I can't hate them. The one I really hated was the Golden Witch Beatrice, or else that ringleader of the Ushiromiya suspicion on Eva.
Ange 様、早く次のページ。
It does seem like Momon is like the one that has the strongest connection to Ange. It is the first one that she summoned, but I don't know, or I guess the last one that she could keep, I guess, present. But it does seem like there is that strong connection for some reason.
ごめん。
Maybe greed has some sort of, there's like a fire within Ange that is just, it's fueled by greed or something.
疲れたわ。
Maybe you could argue that based on what she's trying to seek out.
少し休憩させて。
エンジ様、休憩だって。遊ぼう遊ぼう。エンジ様、遊ぼう。
When they noticed that I had interrupted my studying, the most energetic youngest sisters had gathered around me. That wasn't all. Oh. Even Maria One-chan and Sakutaro showed themselves. They had probably been very close by, but they must have hid themselves so that they wouldn't interrupt my studying.
うりゅう。エンジ、お勉強どう？お勉強どう？やー！サク太郎！元気？
ちょっと私にもモフモフさせて。早い者勝ちだっていつも言ってるでしょ。
Poor kid.
かわいいかわいい。
Poor kid that's not really, anything except a stuffed animal, I think.
うりゅう。
七姉妹が揃ってる時に現れたのが運の月だ。おとなしくモフモフされてもらおう。
もういっつもこんなにしてしまって。愚昧な姉と妹どもが申し訳ありません。
サク太郎もみんなに会えて喜んでるよ。どうエンジェ、お勉強の調子は？
ありがとう。まあそこそこには。ご丁寧にも他のクラスで先にあった小テストのプリントが回してもらえたの。麗しい連帯感に涙が出るわ。とりあえず年表を頭に入れるだけでもまあ多少はマシかしら。
うりゅう、エンジェお勉強偉い。いっぱい点数取れるよ。うりゅう。お疲れ様。マリア、お勉強は全然ダメだったから、ちゃんと勉強すれば点数が取れるエンジェが羨ましいよ。
Gee, Maria, I wonder why you were so bad at studying.
ご冗談を。
Maybe you had too much of a focus on the occult or
知識。
something. I don't know.
そんなのを丸暗記できてるお姉ちゃんの方がよっぽどすごいわ。
Yeah, even Ange
マ
brought
リ
it
ア
up.
は魔法のお勉強は何でも覚えられるけど、つまんないお勉強は何も。だからテストでも何も役に立たない。
確かにオカルトの知識はどうかと思うけど、英語なんかは成績に結びつくんじゃない？
小学校1年生の時、国語のテストで鉄砲のイラストの脇に四角が4マスあって、そこに名前を書きなさいって問題があった。ライフルって書いたら×だった。
どうして？合ってるじゃない。
鉄砲が正解だって。カタカナは小学1年生では習わないからダメだと言われた。マリアはよくわからないから、その日以来テストでは全てひらがなで書くようにしたよ。でもなぜかママには怒られる。先生にも怒られる。
お姉ちゃんは多分生まれる国を間違えたわ。
ならマリア、魔女の国に生まれて、
Yeah, of
魔法
course.
学校に入りたかった。
Of course. I was gonna mention, I
そうしたら
obviously can't relate to whatever her struggles were
もっともっと素敵な魔法の友
there.
達がいっぱいいたかもね。うりゅう。でも別に今は何も気にしてないよ。だって魔法はいっぱい使えるし、魔法のお友達もたくさんいる。マリアにはサクタロがいれば十分だもの。僕だけじゃないよ。サクスケもサク吉も動物の音楽隊もアザラシの下田くんもウサギのサナエさんも小豚のピゴーくんも他にもいっぱい。
Incredible. The number of One-chan's friends keeps increasing. Every time I ask, the number of names for her friends grows. But there's no doubt that Sakutaro is her best friend. I'm a little jealous of all those close friends.
どう？七姉妹は仲良くやれてる？
本当に賑やかな姉妹たちよ。たまに物騒なことを言い出すけど悪くないわ。本当はサク太郎みたいな可愛い子が良かったんだけど、今は
もっと私の原初の魔法を学んだなら、きっとエンジェの好みの友達を生み出せるようにもなるよ。今のエンジェに想像はまだちょっと難しいね。
想像と召喚は違う。そして反言もまた違う。
お、やっぱり一番の願いは家族を蘇らせること？
Well, yeah.
うん。よりしろは持ってるよ。これ。
そうだね。その髪飾りならいつかきっとバトラーを呼び出す鍵になるよ。
It will?
あとはエンジェの修行次第だね。
I think it was Maria that said that there was some magic with her hairpiece or
それが
something.
いつまでかかるのかわからないのが泣けるけれども。
Well, somebody told her. I don't remember.
辛くてもしっかりエンジェが諦めなければ絶対にいつか叶うよ。
絶対に叶うという保証を誰かがくれたなら、きっと心も休まるでしょうにね。
うりゅなら僕が保証する。エンジェはいつかきっと必ず願いを叶えられるよ。
ありがとう。気休めでも嬉しいわ。
気休めじゃないよ、うりゅダメだよエンジェ。そういう感情は半魔法の毒素になるよ。
It will?
夢は必ず叶うって気持ちが一番よく芽吹く魔力の種なんだよ。
そうね。ごめんなさい、お師匠様。
エンジェ様は少し強欲さが足りないのよ。欲しいもののためにはどこまでも。手に入れるまで絶対に諦めないという根性が足りない。うりゅそんなことないよ。エンジェは頑張ってるよ。
ありがとう、サク太郎。マモン、泣き言なんて何の足しにもならないもんね。私にはただ頑張るしか道はないのよ。努力するわ。歯を食いしばってね。そして必ず夢を叶えるわ。絶対に。
うりゅエンジェ偉いよ。頑張ろう。僕もマモンも応援する。ええ、応援します。主が強欲であればあるほど私たちの価値も上がるというもの。それよりエンジ様、せっかく10人も集まったんだし、みんなでしりとりでもして遊ぼうって提案がありまして。
What the hell is Shiritori?
負けたら罰ゲーム。
Oh shit, no.
私に耳をかじらせて。
Not the punishment
も
games.
うあんたの頭には食欲以外ないの？グマイどもの愚かな提案をお許しください。そろそろ勉強に戻られなくても大丈夫ですか？
やだやだやだ、ずっとお勉強終わるの待ってたのに遊んでもらえないなんてやだ。
悪くない提案と思います。たまには遊ぶのも頭の良い柔軟になるかと。
It's crazy. The smile, really the overall expression that Ange has here, talking with all these characters that don't really exist. However, if we're going to go in that direction, I'm beginning to wonder what really does exist in all of this, because again, the timeline here is really confusing, but also, where the hell are we even, you know? Like, what is real, what isn't, how is Ange a part of the game, this and that? There's a whole bunch of fucking questions, but I guess we'll just take things at face value and just appreciate how happy Ange is here.
ベルフェが司るのはタイダだっけ？もっともらしいことを言ってるけど、うまいことを言ってるわね。
失礼しました。エンジェ様は勤勉でおられる。
エンジさえ良ければ私もみんなと遊びたいな。みんなでワイワイ、きっと楽しい。風流、エンジェ遊ぼう遊ぼう。みんなでしりとりをやろう。
Again, what the hell is Shiritori? I guess we're gonna find out, maybe.
ではサクタロのウリュウからスタートで、この場合何からになるの？リュ？ユ？
ウリュウからなんだろうね。やっぱりリュウ？
Wait, are they trying to like... Actually, no, I don't know what the hell they're trying to do
こんなおかしな語
here.
尾の単語が出てくるなんてめったにないし。
Are they trying to come up with a word that's based off of the word that was previously used or said?
じゃあ私が一番。リュウから行くね。時計のネジのリュウズ。
私が一番に言いたかったのに、リュウトの方が素敵。
図？なんだかさっきから難しいのばっかりね。というか順番どうなってるの？次は誰？
ウリュウ、誰でもいいと思うよ。思いついた人順でいいよ。何それ、面白いね。いっぱい言えた人が勝ち？早口しりとりだね。
That's
じゃあ
chaotic.
私行くね。ズッキーニ、ニンニク炒め、メカブのパスタ。
What the fuck?
どれも美味しそう。3つもいっちゃった。
ベルゼ3点獲得と。接続詞はありなのか？
のがありになったら何でもありになっちゃうわ。最後のはダメよ。1点減点。目からよ。
じゃあマリアね。メレンゲ。ゲ？
Okay, I think I see what the hell they're doing here.
下水道、埋め立て地、地下室。ざっとこんな感じ？お姉様、なんだか品のない単語ばっかり。何よ。じゃあ品のいい単語で続けてみなさいよ。とにかく私3点ね。次はつよ、つ。
こんな変なしりとり初めて。面白い。ウリュウ、全然わかんないけど
And
面
this is all
白い。
getting conjured up from Ange's mind right here, right? So this is all just her, right? I've played normal Shiritori before, but I've never experienced a Shiritori this weird. There's only the lively seven sisters, Maria One-chan, Sakutaro, and me. I'm now surrounded by friends that are so fun to be with. The courage to accept a world of magic, a world of witches. That alone didn't change the fact that I was still locked up in an academy without a single friend in my class. But despite that, I'm able to have such a fun and lively time. I'll also become a witch like Maria One-chan. And someday I'll add my family to this fun circle. Dad, Mom, and Oni-chan. And if possible, George Oni-chan and Jessica One-chan. And the other relatives. I'll call everyone here without a single person missing, and we'll all gather together.
それが私の
And we'll call it
夢。
the Golden Land.
そうよ。私はそれを叶えるまで絶対にくじけない。
エンジ様はきっと大魔女になられます。あなたがそうだと信じるだけで。我ら煉獄の七姉妹はその日まで常におそばにお仕えするでしょう。
いてくれる？いつまでも私の力になってくれる？
当然。だって私エンジ様の友達じゃないですか。
Well, I guess so, imaginary or not.
そうね。常に全員揃ってみんなで遊びましょう。今もこれからもずっとずっと。
エンジ様が夢を叶えられる日まで。
The lively 10-person game of Shiritori, alongside a street cut off from time under the constantly bright rays of the sun, could have continued forever. But there's a but here, right? That's the school. Okay, those are...
マジほんと。どういうわけ後宮さん。
Is Ange getting beat up or something? In the end, I wasn't able to get a very good grade on my test. I tried memorizing things in my own way. But if you could manage anything by cramming the night before a test, no one would ever worry about tests.
あらかじめ問題が分かってたら、普通楽勝じゃない？楽勝。
さすがの私たちも空欄に答えまでは書き込みませんでしたわ。その程度はお勉強してくれると信じてましたから。
なにこれ、ちょっとマジこれ信じらんない。ほとんどダメじゃない。あんた本当にちゃんと予習したわけ？
Well, she had a lot of distractions.
一応。
一応ってレベルじゃありませんことよ。後ろここまでひどいと私めまいすらしそうですわよ。おお、神よ、こんな簡単なテストすら無残な成績を残し、クラス全体の平均点をガタ打ちさせる彼女をどうかお許しください。
Oh, laughter, how I've missed you. The same test had been given in another class first. That test paper had been obtained, so the average score for our class had been unusually high, enough to obscure my slight improvement. However, there were some things I had no excuse for. If I had spent that entire day studying like mad, I might have been able to get a slightly higher score. I've never been good at like history, if that's what this was, or if it was just tests in general. But I hadn't gone that far. After that on that day, I spent the whole time having fun playing Shiritori with the seven sisters, Sakutaro and One-chan. As expected, the winner had been Maria One-chan. She was a strong player thanks to her wide knowledge of trivia. Sakutaro had gotten the punishment game. He spent the whole time cheering for everyone else's answers. Completely forgetting to think of any himself? Nah, it's forgetting. Because of that, he had been squished by the seven sisters and had his ears thoroughly nibbled, hadn't he? Oh, what torture.
聞いてる後宮さん。
They were surrounding me, twittering like small birds. They were annoying, smelly. On the outside of that circle was Momon, an exasperated expression on her face.
相変わらずおかしな学校ね。
I'll say.
自分の成績が良かったなら万々歳じゃないの？
連帯責任とやらのせいでしょ。彼女らにとって自分の成績がどうこうじゃなくて、クラスの平均点が低くて恥ずかしい方が問題なのよ。あるいはその結果、罰則として与えられる奉仕活動が嫌で仕方ないのかもしれない。
それってつまり成績を良くしたいから勉強してるとかじゃなくて、連帯責任や奉仕活動が嫌だから勉強してるって意味？
妬ましくて恥ずかしいのよ。誰かより劣りたくない、恥ずかしめられたくない、そんな気持ちだけが彼女らを勉強に駆り立ててる。勉強がしたければ勝手にすればいいのに、騒がしいやつら。
つまるところ、連帯責任も奉仕活動もなければ、彼女らは勉強などする気もないわけだ。勉強の意味も知らず勉強することの、なんと愚かしいことか。
しかし、本当にこいつらはうるさくてバカバカしい。エンジェ様の貴重な昼の一時を邪魔するなと言うのに。
Damn, I'm so glad the imaginary friends here are all on our side, right?
早くどっか行っちゃえ！お腹すいた！早く消えちゃえ！
Beelzebub really does, you know,
みんな人間って
she stands with what she,
どうしてここまで浅ま
with
しい
what
の
her
かしら。
sin is.
自分で努力するよりエンジ様に努力させる方が楽で強欲に平均点を稼げるってことでしょ。人間なんてみんな強欲。
Amen.
そしてより楽なようにそれを強いる。こいつらとはやがて 煉獄の山で再会するわ。第五感を抜けるときはせいぜい己が足元に注意することね。
Mamoon controls the fifth terrace of the mountain that reaches to heaven, Mount Purgatory. Since she is saying this, you can probably be sure that after those girls die, their journey to heaven won't be an easy one. No, on the contrary, let them just fall into hell. Oh, I forgot. I was told that the Seven Sisters may or may not have adjusted information in their logs. We should just go take a look at it, you know? Why not? It's been a while. I think for sure Mamoon has a different one. But let's see here. There's Lucifer, the eldest of the sisters, and by extension also their leader. For that reason, she claims to be the strongest of the sisters, but is secretly aware that she is actually the least talented. However, she carries herself with pride every day in an attempt to hide this fact, while living in terror of how she would be disparaged by her sisters if they ever found out. Okay, Leviathan often confronts the eldest sister, Lucifer, on behalf of the younger sisters. She has a fundamentally envious and brutal personality and is adept at finding others' weaknesses. However, she is better described not as envious, but as a crybaby who wants her own way. For some reason, she is not very shrewd and always ends up last in the sisters' order, drawing the short straw and crying. Satan takes on the role of the ever-angry class president of the sisters. I actually have no idea what that word is. I've never seen that word before. Diatribes tend to fly out of her mouth in rapid succession, so she is feared by the other sisters. If anybody wants to, look that one up for me, that'd be lovely. Sorry, I'm stupid. Because of this fear, no one is willing to talk back to her, and she is actually quite lonely. From time to time, she will intentionally do things so that she gets yelled at, but none of her sisters will admonish her for it, making her feel empty. Belphegor is taciturn, assiduous, and the most trusted of the sisters as furniture. Actually, I have to say, I really like her way of speech, and how she kind of approaches things. She's a lot calmer in a sense. I mean, they're all freaky, but I think she's pretty cool, I don't know if she's my favorite. I don't know if I can really choose a favorite here. However, that is partly because of her demonic desire to turn her masters into lazy pigs. In that sense, she could probably be called the most demon-like of all of the sisters. Her flaw is that she is too serious. Conversely, she is not used to being treated with kindness. Alright, this is the big one right here, Mamoon. And she is the piece of furniture who was the first to become Ange's friend. She remained alongside her throughout her years of training, supporting her master constantly and greedily so that she could become a full-fledged witch. A special person even among the Seven Sisters. Okay, obviously that one's different. I'm pretty sure all of these have like a little bit more to them. There's a little bit more personality to them. Beelzebub is the gourmet of the sisters and is known for being a big and picky eater. Her personality is similar to Mamoon's, and they often vie to beat each other to the prize. She's also always talking about food, which makes her a calming influence among the sisters. However, she also has a disturbing desire to kidnap pretty boys and store them in the food cellar. Okay. Alrighty, as the youngest of the sisters, Asmodeus is doted upon by everyone. This might be why she alone is kept out of the way when the conversation turns a little saucy. In the hopes that her older sisters will accept her as an adult, she is constantly on the lookout for a boyfriend. However, she sets her sights too high and spends her days fantasizing about the prince who will never come. Okay. Well, I'm happy to have read through that because we are getting a little bit of individuality out of the sisters, especially on Mamoon. The class committee went to the student council and applied to use a classroom during lunch and after school. The purpose of use was for a class study group. A wonderful little gathering so that they could all surround me and make me study. I'm so grateful I could cry. Which meant that every day, all of my lunch and 3 hours of my afternoon would be stolen. The academy and its student council, with its theme of student self-government, instantly approved of this pleasant activity that the students were taking up of their own initiative. In other words, I was no longer able to escape after school by leaving the classroom. After school, the first class study group meeting started right away. Would they open a textbook and then kindly and carefully explain so that even I could understand it? Of course it didn't turn out like such a naive illusion. That'd make too much sense. After school in the classroom, dozens of my classmates crowded around my desk. First, before we started studying, why were my grades so bad? What was the reason? It was decided that we couldn't start until I could clearly answer those questions, become aware of the problem, and show regret for my actions. And of course, there's no way for me to respond when asked a question like that. They've loathed me all this time, and they've rejected me and kept me at a distance, preventing me from joining in on their community. So I've avoided their community myself. And there shouldn't have been any conflict for either of us that way. So even in this group that was enthusiastic about raising the class average, they obviously kept me at a distance. Even if I tried to join in, they would probably ignore me, like they always did in the past.
言ってくれれば私たちいくらでも教えてあげたよ。
Uh-huh.
ねえ。ねえ。
Uh-huh. They were getting themselves all worked up. I've already had enough of the hypocrisy of their tacked on excuses.
後ろ宮さんの悪いところはね、協調性がないところなのよ。
Uh-huh.
自分さえ良ければいいって思ってる。その考えがいけないのよ。
Also, full disclosure for anyone that didn't know, some may, especially if you're in my Discord, but I have watched Higurashi Go and Sotsu. I'm just gonna throw that one out, and I'm not gonna say anything further.
セールチーヤの学び屋に集う者は協調の心を持つようにちゃんと生徒手帳にも明記されてましてよ。
協調性があればクラス全体に貢献するために一緒にお勉強しようという意思も生まれると思うの。そここそが後宮さんにお勉強以前に欠けている部分だと思うんだけど。
ねえ、さっきから私たちの話を聞いてる？
I wish I wasn't.
あなたのために私たちはわざわざ放課後に残ってこうしてお話ししているのよ。
I'm so grateful I could cry. Of course, they didn't like that. In this way, it almost makes it look like we're bullying you, they reprimanded me. Fortunately, I'm normally all cried out anyway. If I am told not to cry, I can hold it back. First, I was made to write a letter of remorse and read it out loud. Of course, this was to be done by today. The class committee politely applied to the student council and the staff room for an extension on the use of this classroom. It seems it was accepted right away, of course it was. Which means that starting now, I'll be forced into self-criticism for at least a full 5 hours here. Ushiromiya Ange got a low score on her test and caused trouble for her classmates.
違うでしょ？成績が低くて迷惑をかけたってのは根本じゃないでしょ？
協調性でしょ、協調性。
もうなんで後宮さんの反省文の書き方まで私たちが指導しなくちゃならないのよ。
Why does she even need to write a letter of regret? Their abusive jeers flew about one after another. I followed their directions and erased it. Ushiromiya Ange didn't have a cooperative attitude and caused trouble for her classmates.
ねえ、ちょっと私たちが言ったのをそのまま書いても意味ないのよ。
あんた反省って意味分かってんの？
自分の言葉で書かなくちゃ意味がないじゃない。
後宮さんってちょっと不思議な子だなって思ってたけど、やっぱり変わってるよね。
Even following their directions didn't change the jeers much, and now it felt like they were mocking me even more. So for several more hours without rest, without even being allowed to go to the bathroom, much less dinner, I was continuously abused. I was coerced into writing a paragraph that humiliated myself. Well, this is fun. But it does show that she had a lot more fun in her, mental world than the physical world. At about 9 p.m., or 9 o'clock that night, whichever, I was told to stand up and read it aloud. The contents were smeared black with tears and eraser marks. It certainly was my handwriting, but it was like a list of soulless letters whose contents I couldn't even remember. Everything had been copied down according to their orders. So while I had been the one to write the letters, they weren't my words. I had been coerced into writing them down, and even coerced into reading them out loud. And even after all this time, I was surprised to learn that beyond just ignoring people and hiding their things, there are other ways to bully people.
ほら早く読み上げなさいよ。後宮さんのためにこれだけの人間がこんなに遅くまで付き合ってるのよ。少しは感謝したら。
そこで感謝の気持ちが湧かないという時点でもう協調性がかけらほどもないのよね。
大丈夫よ後宮さん。これからは私たちがいつも一緒にいてあげるから。
Oh, fun.
一緒にお勉強して生まれ変わりましょう。ね。
Yeah, sounds like a swell time. As I stood by my seat, surrounded by them, I dropped my gaze towards the blackened page. And then I spoke those humiliating words. But right away, jeers flew at me, saying that they couldn't hear and to speak up. I can't read it. I had no idea that being forced to read a paragraph humiliating me would be so painful. My throat shook. My fingertips shook. The paragraph of humiliation written in my own handwriting made my eyes burn with a hot liquid. What's going on here? So my world blurred and twisted. I saw the girls surrounding me twist and bend. I saw them twist and bend into the impression I had of them. In other words, that was my true field of vision. Beyond that twisted crowd of people, I could see my friends. Compassion could be seen in all of their eyes.
エンジェ、しっかり。うりゅう。
Maria, One-chan, and Sakutaro were looking at me with sad eyes. Probably because they realized that even cheap words of compassion would hurt me. They kept alternating between trying to say something and hanging their heads.
なんなのよ、こいつら。最低のやつら。腹渡が煮えくり返るわよ。エンジ様を寄ってたかってなぶり物にして何が楽しいわけ？
I will say, reading the,
騙しくても吐き出せないエンさん。
reading all of their descriptions
誰でも
again
いいのよ。吐き出せればね。
got me a better idea of like their age order here.
エンジェ様、ここはご自身の名誉のために怒り狂うことが許される場面です。怒りは正当な感情で正当な反応。ここで怒らなかったらどこで怒るんですか？
やめなさいよ。安っぽくエンジェ様を怒らせないで。それができたらもうやってるわよ、エンジェ様は。
怒って状況が改善できるならそうすべきだ。だが客観的に判断してそれはますますに状況を悪化させるだけだろう。屈辱的だが今は耐えるのが賢明だ。
さすがベルフェネーは怠惰やってます。ふざけないでよ。私は耐えられない。こいつらが許せない。
みんな騒がないで。エンジェの負担になっちゃうよ。
負担？何言ってんのよ。ここは騒ぐところでしょ。私たち家具は主が侮辱されているのを見て冷静でいられるほど残酷じゃない。
エンジェ様、そんな侮辱の文章を読む義務はありません。怒りの声を上げられないならせめてその屈辱の文面を床に叩きつけて。
口汚く罵らなくていい。のけぞらせるほどの大声を上げなくていい。ただ渾身の力でそのノートを床に叩きつけて。それだけのことでエンジェ様は強い意志を示すことができる。勝手なことを言わないで。言ってるでしょ。それができるもんならエンジェ様だってとっくにやってる。
一時の感情の爆発は何も解決しない。むしろエンジェ様に対する風当たりを悪くするだけだとなぜわからん。
エンジェ様は悪くないのになんでこんな目に遭うの？
Now, I will be like the one to kind of just step out of the bounds a little bit here, if I can. So, we're seeing everything from like a very limited perspective of Ange, right? It is very possible that she isn't actually cooperating, that she actually is just being a nuisance. But these girls here are definitely, they are bullying her. They really are. Like, this is fucking ridiculous. However, if you don't try, and if you go out of your way to, like, be an outsider, and to, like, I don't know, like, she doesn't deserve to be bullied. Nobody ever does. But if you, like, do the things that I'm pretty sure Ange did to, like, go into like, she's a solitary person. She is. She chose solitude in a situation where you have to work with others. Then, yeah, it's gonna piss people off. It will. So, I don't think that... Well, Ange is definitely the victim in this situation, but I do think there's a whole lot more wrong.
夕飯も食べさせてもらえないで放課後からずっとこんななんて嫌。
今夜だけじゃないわ。今日も明日も明後日もいい加減にしてこんな屈辱耐えられない。
ねえ、私たちの話本当に聞こえてる？
Someone tugged at my hair. I was torn back into my tragic reality. I was no longer even permitted to listen to the seven sisters speaking on my behalf in my heart. My hair was lifted upwards. One of my hair ornaments came off and I could hear the sound of it rolling on the ground. No one picked it up. To the contrary, they casually avoided it as though something filthy was rolling towards them. I tried to follow it with my eyes, but my hair was tugged upwards again.
なんで私たちがこんなに真剣に話してるのにいつも聞いてないわけ？
右の耳から左の耳ってやつ？それとも馬の耳に念仏かしら？あんたいい加減にしてよね。
私たち全員に迷惑かけてるって自覚本気であるの？私たちに言われてるからいやいや書いたとか言い出すんじゃないでしょうね。
あんたが本当に自分の意思で反省できるまでマジで終わんないからね。今日だけじゃないよ。明日も明後日もマジで続くからね。あんまり舐めてんじゃないわよ。
つーかさ、
Oh,
なんでまだ
wow.
生きてんの？
Wow.
生きてられる？普通。私なら死んじゃうね。
生きてられないよね。だってさ、生きてるだけで迷惑かけてるだけでしょ？私だったら絶対に生きてられない。
うんうん、私だったら死ぬね。その方が世の中のためになるならすぐにでも死んじゃうよ。ねえ。
じゃあ死んでよ。
Oh. What the fuck is going to happen here, man? What is about to happen?
こいつら全員今すぐ殺してよ、あんたたち。
Oh, fuck.
ルシファー、聞こえた？
Oh, shit, man. No.
あんたたち煉獄の七姉妹は人間なんかあっという間に皆殺しにできるすごい核なんでしょ？あんたらいつも私にそう自慢していたわ。ならやって、今すぐこいつらを皆殺しにして、今すぐこの場で。
それは
For some reason, Lucifer hesitated.
なんで？どうしてよ。目にも止まらぬ速度で飛び回って魔女の敵の心臓を即座に貫く必殺の家具でしょ。そしてそれを今すぐ実行しなさい。殺して、こいつらをみんな殺せ。
Jesus, man.
エンジェ様、どうか落ち着いて。
If they had immediately followed my brutal order, making heaps of corpses with me at the center, I was ready to reflect on my own reckless actions of stealing human lives so readily, ready to regret and repent just as they had wanted me to. I was prepared to do that, and yet Lucifer just let an unsure expression rise to her face and didn't move to carry out my order. I knew it. Yeah, I knew it. Vaguely. No, that's not right. I've known from the beginning. I've known that magic was all empty this whole time, haven't I? Well, if you believe that, say goodbye to your imaginary friends here.
何が煉獄の七姉妹よ。くだらない。くだらない。私、
最初から知ってたんだから。
エンジェ様。
Oh shit. I glared into the worthless Lucifer's eyes, and pain seemed to accompany that gaze. As though she was being assaulted by a violent headache, Lucifer grasped her head with both arms. But it looked like she couldn't tear her eyes off my gaze, so she was assaulted with a pain that grew more and more violent. Okay.
役立たずがあんたなんて大嫌い。消えてしまえ。あんたなんて所詮私の中の妄想じゃない。
That's what I've been saying. Hopelessness and disappointment. Resignation and a dream's end. A cracking sound, just like you'd hear from a frozen lake's surface during a fierce winter, rang out just once. At the same time, Lucifer's form, which was being tormented by a violent pain, stiffened in place and grew cloudy. It was almost as though a beautifully polished glass window had been heartlessly smashed and turned white from the countless fissures. And that was an accurate analogy. At some point, Lucifer's form had turned into a glass ornament of the same shape. Goodbye. Countless fissures ran through it from the inside, and as the head and arms collapsed, it crumbled to the floor.
知女は誰？レビアタン？私の命令を実行して、今すぐにこいつらを皆殺しにして。
そのエンジェ様、どうかお気を沈めてお聞きください。私たちはその。
Oh, here we go. I'm not looking for excuses or backtalk or an answer. I want nothing more than a swift confirmation of my order to eradicate the girls who are humiliating me. If you're going to say anything else, there's no need for me to listen until the end. After Leviathan also turned white due to countless cracks throughout her whole body, she fell over backwards, splitting into separate parts along her neck, hips, and arms. If she had been smashed to bits and lost her original form, it probably wouldn't have seemed so brutal. So seeing the two of them halfway left over made the remaining younger sisters shake even harder.
どうして私の命令を聞いてくれないの？どうしてよ！
恐れながら、現在のこの場は反魔法力が非常に強く。
I mean, you could have said that from the start,
何
maybe?
よそれ。人間がいるからダメってどういう理屈？人間を殺すのがあんたたちの役目でしょ？それができないならあんたたちは何のための家具なのよ。死ね
Oh, so much for that. As she clutched her head with both arms, Satan also turned white and fell down face first. Apparently the neck is the most slender part after all. Her head slid off and rolled over to Belphegor's feet.
人間が多いからダメなの？じゃあ私が後でこいつらを一人ずつ物陰に呼び出せたなら、あんたたちはきっちり全員を血祭りにできるというの？
現在のエンジェ様の魔力では私たちと会話する程度はたやすいでしょう。しかしこの場にいる全ての人間の前で権限するにはまだまだ魔力の連成が足りません。お怒りは深く理解できますが、たとえ我らを攻撃に使えたとしてもこの場の全員を殺害することはかえって状況を悪くするだけです。屈辱的とは思いますが、どうかこの場は怒りを収められて。
Oh, come on. She gave you like the most detailed explanation.
あとの3人も同じ答えなの？反魔法力が高いからできないっていう？私に魔力が足りないからできないっていう？なら全員を殺せとは言わないわ。たった一人でいいから殺してみなさいよ。今すぐこの場で。
As Asmodeus and Beelzebub held each other, they crouched down, cringing in fear under my glare. If they'd been able to obey my order, they probably would have carried it out immediately. And yet here they were, crouching down, empty, sad, and pathetic. That's right, I've known. These girls can't even touch reality with one of their fingers. We're gonna be left with Mamon just remaining.
どうして生きてるの？あんた生きてる価値がないのになんで生きてるわけ？死ねばいいじゃん。死になさいよ。というかむしろ死ね。使い道のない家具を置いとくバカがいると思う？やめてください、エンジ様。何？マモン、あなただけは私の命令を遂行してくれるの？そうよね。私の一番のお友達だもんね。あなただけはやってくれるわよね。こいつらを。
今のエンジ様には私たちを刺激しても人殺しはできません。主にできることを手伝うのが家具の役目。主にすらできないことを私たちにはすることができない。エンジ様はこいつらが憎いですか？憎いですよね。殺したくなる気持ちよくわかります。ええ、どうぞ。ならば殺しましょうよ。エンジ様自らがその手を血に染めるならば、我ら煉獄の七姉妹どこまでもお供しましょうとも。どこまでも。
That's interesting. So, in order to kill, or in order for your furniture to kill, you have to be able to kill.
私にできないからあんたたちに頼んでるんでしょ。私にできないことをできるからあんたたちは家具なんでしょ。
ええ、家具です。使われてこそ家具です。どうぞ我らを使って殺してください。殺すのはあなたです、エンジ様。エンジ様が殺したいと言うならどうぞご自由に。ためらうことはありません。どうぞ今すぐにそれを実行。そこまでの覚悟が伴って初めて、自らの手を汚す覚悟があって初めて。でもエンジ様はそれに至っていないんです。
語るな家具が、妄想が。もう分かってるわよ。皆まで言わせないでよ。あんたたちには何もできない。あんたたちは所詮私の妄想。
Well, goodbye magic.
アクチューム。私には初めから友達なんて一人もいないわ。孤独な私が心の中に生み出したお友達ごっこの幻影でしょ。知ってたのよ最初から。
へえ、そうですよ。エンジ様の頭の中の幻想ですけど何か？はい、そうです。私たちは友達のただ一人もいやしない。寂しい寂しいエンジ様の心を慰めるためだけに生み出された。見たければ現実を見るといい。私たちなんか見ないで、あそこで囲まれて罵声を浴びせられているあなたに戻るといい。ほらほら戻りなさいよ。お帰りなさいな現実に。都合のいい時だけ私たちを呼び出してお友達ごっこで、自分の手を汚す覚悟もないくせにそれをけしかけ、ダメと分かったら否定して消し去る。ええ、どうぞお楽しみくださいよ。エンジェ様が期待されるような苦悶の声と悲鳴を上げて退場しますとも。エンジェ様がたった今浴びせられている罵声を私たちにも同じように浴びせかけて胸の内をスーッとさせるがいいです。それもまた家具の役目。ムカついて床に叩きつけられることもまた椅子の大事なお役目ですから。その程度のことで主の不機嫌を一時でも受け止められたなら、家具としてこれほどの栄誉はありません。殺しなさいよ。否定しなさいよ。あなたの最初で最後の友達を。
I don't know how to feel here about a character that we should be denying. At the end, Mamon had a mocking expression on her face, but for some reason it looked splashed with tears. Mamon, Beelzebub, and Asmodeus were smashed and fell to the floor. So Maria watched all of that happen, right?
ウリュウ、こっちへおいで作太郎。 今のエンジェは少し冷静じゃないだけ。
Yeah, just a little.
だから近寄っちゃダメだよ。みんなは、7姉妹のみんなは生きてるの？死んじゃったの？大丈夫だよ。とても無残な姿だけど、あれは人間界を強制退去させられて残されたよりしろの残滓、抜け殻だよ。だから大丈夫。とても傷ついただろうけど無事だよ。みんな生きてるよ。きっといつかまた会えるよ。ウリュ、よかった。よかった。エンジェはマリアージュ・ソルシエールの条約に違反した。同盟の魔女はお互いを敬い認め合わなくちゃならないのに、みんなエンジェの大切なお友達だったのに。
そんな魔女の同盟なんて関係ない。魔法のお友達？いいか、私が殺したわ。消し去った。私が7姉妹を砕け。
ウリュ、そんなのひどいよ。ひどいよ。
もう魔女ごっこはいい加減にして。お願いだから、マリアお姉ちゃんもサクタロも自ら消えてほしい。私が殺して消したなんて妄想の中ですらした。
僕たちは妄想なんかじゃないよ。エンジェのお友達だよ。ウリュ。
Nah, she ain't having it, man. Sakutaro said that as he hid behind Maria One-chan, sobbing. Sakutaro doesn't exist. Sakutaro is also an imaginary creature One-chan created to distract herself from her loneliness.
ウリュ、痛い。痛いよ。マリア。なんでウリュ。やめて。私のお友達を否定することだけは許さない。
The same power that had smashed the Seven Sisters was probably eating into Sakutaro as well. But Maria One-chan was apparently protecting him with some other power. So Sakutaro's form didn't break and scatter. One-chan glared at me sharply. It was a serious expression that I had never seen before.
サクタロは私の家具。エンジェには消せないよ。なのに否定しようとするのは魔女にとって最大級の侮蔑も同じだよ。
サクタロなんて最初から存在しないわ。ただのライオンのぬいぐるみ。それをお姉ちゃんがあたかも存在するかのように脳内で妄想して人格化した。ただ
そんなことないよ。
Yeah, I think it is.
サクタロはマリアのお友達なの。元はぬいぐるみだけど今はぬいぐるみじゃないの。
いいえ、ぬいぐるみだわ。布と綿でできたぬいぐるみ。自ら喋れも動きもしない。お姉ちゃんはそれを腹話術みたいにして喋ってるだけじゃない。それが魔法？それが魔女？それが友達？そんなの私は認めないわ。
ウリュ、僕じゃないの。僕はただのぬいぐるみで本当は喋れなくてマリアのお友達じゃないの。
Yeah, no, that is true. As though struck with a high fever, Sakutaro weakened bit by bit. As he clung to One-chan's body, he did all he could to continue standing. But his body began to gradually slip down. As he did, One-chan held him, yelling at me as tears streamed down her face.
やめて。魔法の毒でサクタロを焼かないで。いじめないで。侮辱しないで。否定しないで。
The fuck?
マリアお姉ちゃん変だな。サクタロなんかいないよ。ぬいぐるみはぬいぐるみだもん。布と綿でできてるってママに習ったもん。
Oh, this is the past, isn't
喋
it?
ったりなんかできる。無理。サクタロ、サクタロ。
Interesting.
ぬいぐるみじゃないもん。友達だもん。
Damn, Ange was a fucking evil little kid.
もう魔女の仲間になんか入れてあげない。原初の魔女見習いマリアの名において魔女見習いエンジェをマリアージュ・ソルシエール魔女同盟より。
Well, that didn't last long. And then, what had been peaceful days to me became a daydream and ended. By now, it's impossible to prove. No one can verify whether that really was magic or whether those really were my friends, or else nothing more than a daydream. I, the sole observer, concluded that they were a daydream, so that became the truth. Perhaps in the farther future I'll observe it again, and when that happens, maybe I'll acknowledge that it wasn't a dream, that the seven sisters really were my friends, and that, along with Maria One-chan and Sakutaro, they did everything they could for me in my isolation. Something so vague is neither the truth nor an illusion. Maybe the reality here and now is the only world with the real me. Where is the real me? Yeah, honestly. The person standing amidst the girl's exposed wreckage that resembles broken glass sculptures, that girl who's breathing harshly, her shoulders heaving, isn't me. I'm over there. The me that's surrounded by a crowd and being showered by jeers and who's hanging her head, her eyes red, isn't the me over there the real me? I won't dream anymore, because there's nowhere left to run. I'm going back. I'll return myself to the cage made of flesh.
ねえ、話聞こえてますかしら？いつまでもうつむいていても何の解決にもなりませんわよ。
聞こえてるわ。
ああ、やっと返事した。このまま黙ってれば終わるとか、泣けば許してもらえるとか、そういうこと考えてるんじゃないの？あんた、自覚あるかって聞いてるのよ。自分が周りに迷惑かけてるって自覚があるのかって聞いてんのよ。
I slowly nodded. I acknowledged it. I acknowledged that I had slipped into the world of my daydream, trying to remain separate from the others in my class, to separate myself from and disgrace those sisters who spoke to me with reliable and kind words, despite being totally unable to help, when I really wanted them to. I acknowledged that.
私、後ろ宮エンジェは協調性がなくてクラスメートに迷惑をかけました。それは勉強ができないためクラスメート全体に対し過度の劣等感を持っていたからに他なりません。
I don't know about an inferiority complex.
私は生きてても仕方ありません。
Starting there, I was no longer reading the paragraph they'd made me write. It was me improvising. And it was what was in my heart. They noticed that it wasn't what they had anticipated, but while they did frown, no one spoke. So I continued.
そうです。私は生きてても仕方がなかった。1986年のあの日に、私も連れて行ってもらうはずだったんです。なのに、私だけが連れて行ってもらえなかった。どうして、ここは、私のいる世界じゃない。誰も助けてくれません。一時、私の中に生まれた架空の友人たちだけが、でも、友人たちは、所詮は妄想で。だってここは妄想の世界じゃなくて、現実の世界だから。
That it is.
だから、
Unfortunately. That it is.
私は今日までずっと、現実のクラスメートを嫌い、妄想の友人たちとの交流の中だけに生きた。その友人たちとはさっき決別しました。だから私がここにいます。家族もいません。友人も捨てました。もう私には何も残っていません。どうして死なないの？さっきそう聞いた人がいました。その通りだと思います。どうして私は生きてるんでしょう。1986年に私は死んでいるはずだったんです。いえ、きっと死んだんです。なのに私の殺された魂は未だにこの肉の檻に閉じ込められている。 から誰かに求めよう。それに誰も答えてくれないなら自分でしよう。誰か私を死なせてください。
God damn it, man. Well, no one's gonna step up for that. I spoke that sentence and looked around. Dumbfounded girls. Shocked girls. Girls whose faces seemed to be saying, "What the heck is this kid talking about?" And a bit late, more and more girls with faces that said, "Is this girl alright?" No, not really. Alright, so we got the whispering, the chattering, eventually the giggling, and when I ordered the friends in my daydream to kill, they couldn't do it. And so, when I asked real humans to kill me, but of course, these girls can't do it either. In other words, both daydreams and reality are the same. Doesn't this mean that including this world, absolutely everything is a daydream? Then there's no problem, right? After all, on that day when I lost my family, I was already dead. Everything that happened afterwards is going on in my head. My life flashing before my eyes after I failed to die. Once I understood that, it felt like the scenery surrounding me began to twist and bend slightly. Yeah, I'll finally wake up. I'll be released from this daydream world. I feel my consciousness sliding away. That's alright. Fade farther and farther away, and take me to my family. Then no matter what happens in this twisted, stale world, I won't mind it at all. I saw the crowd get pushed aside as a teacher stepped in. Perhaps the teacher doing the rounds happened to notice a strange disturbance. The teacher was vigorously shouting something, moving to protect me. Watching that, I knew that an ally had appeared for me, even if there was only one, and I felt my awareness return very slightly. And fade to black. The only ones who can save me in the world of reality are real humans. Never again. Never again will I seek rescue from my daydreams. This is the world of humans. Nothing can save a human except other humans. Now, I don't know, animals can be very, very, you know, they've got the potential.
そうだね。エンジェがそう思ったなら、それがエンジェの世界。エンジェはこれで幸せになれる？エンジェがそれでしか幸せになれないと信じたなら、カゴの中にいる青い鳥をそうだと認められないなら、どこまでも探しに行かざるを得ない。ウリュウ、マリアとエンジェはもう絶好なの？絶好なんかじゃないよ。エンジェがそれを求めたからそうしただけ。私たち魔女は時に迫害を受けるけれども、でも常にみんなの身近にある。そしてきっとその助けを求められる。エンジェもまた僕たちと遊んでくれる日が来る？来ないでそのまま忘れてしまうこともあるかもしれない。人の世ではそれを成長や決別と呼ぶから。でも
If Ange just remembers, we'll always be by her side. And until then, we'll be waiting. Okay. I don't know what to take from a lot of this shit. It's fucked, bro. It's really fucked. Alright. We are still not in the fucking, like... We're not in 1986 still. We're still jumping around here, it seems. It's crazy. This visual novel is really just taking us everywhere, isn't it? Or this episode in particular. But alrighty, we'll call it there on that one. This was a session. A lot went down. I need some time to really digest all of that. That was a lot, in a way. Jesus. Okay. Well, thank you all for tuning in. Hope you all enjoyed. If you did, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, all that fancy jazz, and I guess we'll see what Sakutaro has in store for us in the next one. Take it easy.